Hi everyone, today we are discussing rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis, which is commonly abbreviated as RPGN. RPGN is also called as crescentic glomerulonephritis. So on one side of the screen, you can see a picnomic and illustration, a starry night with a crescent moon, pasture, flowers, and vegetable land. And on the other side, we have the histopathological image of the glomerulus. Now, in this session, we'll decode both simultaneously, structurally, mechanically, and immunologically. So, what is RPGN? Now, RPGN, it is not a single disease, it is a syndrome. So, RPGN is a clinico-pathological syndrome which is characterized by rapid decline in the renal function. So, there is rapid decline in the renal function. There are clinically, you can see nephritic syndrome. So, clinically, there is nephritic syndrome, and histopathologically there is formation of crescent. So this is a crescent. So in RPGN there are three things. Number one, that there is rapid drop in the renal function. Number two, there is nephritic syndrome. And number three, there is which is the most important, that is crescent formation histologically. And when there are more than 50% of the glomeruli that are affected, we call it RPGN. We call it crescentic glomerular nephritis. So in nephritic syndrome, it will present with hematuria, oliguria, hypertension, rapidly rising serum creatinine. Okay. And that is why it is called rapid. Now let's look at this crescent. You can see this crescent here histologically. And here in this image, we have a moon, which is a crescentic shaped moon. And this moon is wearing a bow, which is representing that there is obliteration of the Bowman space in crescentic glomerulonephritis. Now let's see how these crescents are formed. So crescents are formed when there is severe glomerular injury. So the glomerular injury is the most important. Now, as we said that RPGN is a syndrome. So there are various diseases which we will discuss in some time which lead to this glomerular injury. So the main event here is glomerular injury. So when there is a glomerular injury, there is a break or it affects the glomerular basement membrane. Now this break in the glomerular basement membrane causes leakage of fibrin and plasma protein into the Bowman space. And the Bowman space, there is the lining of parietal epithelial cells. So these parietal epithelial cells, they get triggered, and there is proliferation of these parietal epithelial cells. So they start forming a crescent, and there is deposition of macrophages along with that. This leads to formation of crescent. In the initial phase, it is reversible. But when there is scarring, there is fibrosis, it becomes irreversible and chronic damage is present. So now we've understood this is the basic mechanics, that is there is a glomerular injury which causes leakage of fibrin and plasma protein. There is trigger to the parietal epithelial cells which causes the proliferation, and then there is inflammation, there is macrophages which leads to crescent formation. Now, as I said, there are a lot of diseases which are present which is affecting the globe and causing the glomerular injury. Now, what are these diseases? So these diseases, they have been grouped into three types: type 1, type 2 and type 3 based on the immunopathology. Type 1 is anti-GBM mediated antibody, type 2 is immune complex mediated, and type 3 is posse-immune. Now, what are all these three and how to remember them? We will decode step by step. So now coming to type 1. So type 1 RPGN is anti-GBM disease. So in this illustration here you can see that there is a pasture. It is a neatly arranged farm, and from pasture, remember good pasture, because type 1 is associated with good pasture syndrome. So in type 1, there are antibodies against the glomerular basement membrane, and these antibodies are autoantibodies which are against the alpha 3 chain of collagen 4, and this is present in kidney and lungs. So in kidney it causes RPGN, and in lungs it causes pulmonary hemorrhage. Okay, so type 1 is our farm number 1. From here you can see that it is neatly arranged farm. It is a pasture, and from pasture you remember good pasture syndrome. Now what happens further is that now these autoantibodies, they directly attack the glomerular basement membrane. Now when these bodies attack, they also activate the complement system, and then there is damage to the capillary wall, and then there is fibrin leakage and leading to formation of crescent, which we have already discussed here. So this injury here in type 1, is caused by in which is seen in good pasture syndrome. Now the most important point is the IF finding, that is immunofluorescence. We have to mention immunofluorescence for all the types. The first is in type 1, we will see that there are linear deposits. Now how will we remember linear? Number one, it is because that the glomerular basement membrane is linear, and so there are deposits against that. So this is type 1. So these deposits will be linear. Also we can take the help of the picnomic, and remember, as you can see, the farm is in a linearly arranged fashion, so the deposits here are linear. Alright, so this was about type 1. From pasture, remember good pasture, and there are autoantibodies against alpha 3 chain and type 4 collagen, which is present in kidney and lungs, and that is how the injury takes place, and further this remains constant. And immunofluorescence is important. It is linear. You can take the help of the farm, or you can even remember it like the glomerular basement membrane is linear. So now next is type 2. Now type 2 is immune complex mediated, right? So in the illustration, we can see a second farm here, and you can see flowers and butterflies. So from butterfly, we are going to remember malar rash, which is seen in SLE. And therefore the causes of type 2 is lupus. Also, there are some insects on the flowers, so that we can remember is that in insects and infections, so post-infectious glomerular nephritis. Also, the other causes are IgA nephropathy and MPGN. So similarly, whenever these diseases will be affected, they will cause injury to the glomerular, and this process of crescent formation continues. So there is severe injury in these cases. So what is the difference between type 1 and type 2? In type 1, there were antibodies which were against the glomerular basement membrane. The antibodies were directly against the glomerular basement membrane. In type 2, they will form immune complexes first, and then they will get deposited, and then they will cause injury to the glomerular basement membrane, leading to crescent formation. What will be the picture? Now we know that there is crescent formation. Now this could be because of type 1, or it could be because of type 2. So how do we know the difference? What we do is immunofluorescence. And on immunofluorescence, what do we see? We see granular deposits. If you recall, in type 1, it was linear deposits along the basement membrane. But in type 2, these complexes are already formed and they are getting deposited. So you will see granular deposits. Okay, you can remember it even with the help of this picnomic that it is granular. And in lupus, you see full house, you see all the antibodies IgG, IgM, IgE, C3. So the basic presentation of crescent formation remains the same. That is why it is RPGN. But the diseases causing them, if you want to know, then we do immunofluorescence. Now going to the type 3, we have the third part of our farm. That is, there are vegetables. So from vegetables, we will remember Wegener's granulomatosis, microscopic polyangiitis. So in type 3, the reason is Wegener's granulomatosis. In this, what is there? There are ANCA-associated vasculitis. These are ANCA-associated vasculitis. In this, there are ANCA antibodies, which is, that is, there is anti-neutrophilic antibodies. They activate the neutrophils. These neutrophils, they will attack the endothelium and cause endothelial injury, leading to necrotizing vasculitis, which will damage the glomerular basement membrane and lead to crescent formation. Okay, so in type 3, we have a vegetable land. From vegetables, we are going to remember Wegener's granulomatosis, that is microscopic polyangiitis, which is ANCA mediated. Therefore, there are anti-neutrophilic antibodies. They activate the neutrophils. These neutrophils attack the endothelium, cause endothelial injury, and leading to necrotizing vasculitis, or they cause damage to the glomerular basement membrane and cause crescent formation. So now again, there will be formation of crescent. So all these three types, they were causing crescent formation. But what was differentiating these three types? It was IF. So in type 1, it was linear. In type 2, it is granular. And how is it in type 3? Our vegetables are just perfect. There is nothing more required. So in type 3, there is nothing on the IF, and therefore it is called as pauci-immune, or there is hardly any immune deposits on IF. There are little or no immune deposits which are seen in IF in type 3. So now let's summarize. So RPGN is basically a disease, is a syndromic disease, and what we see is a presentation, and from there we have to derive what is wrong. So what is the presentation? Number one is that there is decrease in the renal function. Number two is that there is nephritic syndrome, that is clinically, and on histology that there is crescent formation. So crescent formation, how is a crescent formed? This is the pathogenesis of crescent formation. But different types of diseases have different modes of causing this crescent formation, and that is why it has been divided based on its pathogenesis into three types. Type 1 is anti-GBM mediated, that is antibodies against the glomerular basement membrane. Type 2 is immune complex, and type 3 is posse-immune. And how we differentiate that which type it is based on immunofluorescence. And we use this picnomic here. This is crescent, moon, Bowman spaces obliterated. The bow shows that there are three types of farm. The first one is good pasture, the second one is butterfly, that is mala rush, and third is the vegetable farm, that is Vaginus granulomatosis. Now, when you study RPGN, everything looks clear. But when you study all the glomerular nephritis and then you start writing an exam about RPGN, the types and the pathogenesis and the various etiologies get confused. And for that reason, we are using this picnomic. So remember to keep this picnomic aside. First, of course, you need to understand the concept, but this picnomic will help you remember all the points without anxiety. Thank you.